You know, the saddest man on the planet and the poorest person on this planet is a human without a dream. If you don't have a dream, you are really poor. You see, no matter how much money you don't have, as long as you got hope and a dream, there's always the possibility of gaining the success you're dreaming about. And yet, the most frustrated person in the world is a person with a dream, but hasn't experienced the reality of that dream.
Listen well. That's going to be a challenge today. I understand that.
As a matter of fact, I know that of all the 5.7 billion people on the planet, including the 94,000 that was born last night, every human being has been birthed with dreams and the ability to dream from God.
Interesting.
That is why young babies, children, toddlers, constantly are always dreaming wild dreams. How many of you ever dreamed dreams before?
Take good notes. Be a good student today. Take some good notes. I've not come to entertain you. Process it. Think about it. Ponder it.
Everybody dreams. Matter of fact, there are people here tonight who are still frustrated because their dream is still as far as it was when they were 20 years old. And the reason why people's dreams don't come to pass is because they haven't learned how to exercise the principles that are designed in God's creation to fulfill dreams. A principle is a law that is established to create the environment to successfully produce the performance of the promised. And what I mean by that is every manufacturer builds into his product principles by which that product functions. And if you follow those principles, everything that the manufacturer promised you, you'll experience. When they built the engine of the automobile, for example, they built it to operate on gasoline, maybe unleaded, right? And because they did that, when you bought the car, the principle was already built into the engine. So you couldn't decide to put what you felt like into the car. You had to put what the manufacturer designed the car to operate on. That's why if you like apple juice or orange juice or pineapple juice, the car doesn't care. It likes unleaded gasoline. And once you do what the principle commands you to do, the car will function for you. So success is really based on the obedience to principles.
You'll follow just a little bit of those simple guidelines, telling you the learning process can be speedy, swift, powerful. Your learning curve can go up, and then applying it to your business, your life, your family, conversations, equities of all kinds. You'll find some progress like I did that first 5 years when I met a teacher willing to share with me, turn my life around. Progress I couldn't believe happened.
Write that down. It's a very important, simple concept. Success is based on obedience to principles. In other words, being successful is not luck. Being effective in your life is not a matter of being a lucky person or a fortunate person. Success and top performance in life is literally a simple process of obedience to principles. And so even as we see that in the normal creation or manufacturing of human products, the same thing is true about what God created. The plants around me are products of principle. Everything in life is built to function by principles. Now, what is a principle? Once again, a principle is a fixed law that is established to guarantee the performance of a product. Once you obey the principle, success is automatic. That makes life exciting. Now, principles are established to make life simple.
That's what makes us different than all other life forms. The ability to think, the ability to use your mind, the ability to process ideas, and not just operate by instinct.
When you don't know the principle of a thing, you have to literally trial and error it through life. For example, because you know what a car demands, then you don't have to think twice of what to put in the car. You don't pray, should I put juice or tomato juice? Or, Father, should I put tomato today? Or should I put orange juice? No, you just know what to put in that, so you know where to go for it. And automatically, when your car gauge, gasoline fuel gauge is low, you go directly to the station, don't you?
Here's what locks up the doors and the channels to receive more: cynicism. That locks you away. That prevents you from learning more. Being a cynic about the past and the future, cynic about the marketplace, cynical about the people, cynical about the institutions, cynical about the setup, cynical about yourself, cynical about your chances. See, that locks away all the chance for stuff to flow your way.
When I first started telling jokes, I made $25 a night. The first year in comedy, I made $3,000. Second year, I made $5,500. The third year, I made about $7,200. I became homeless. You make 3, 5, and 7, 12, 34, $15,000 in 3 years. That's how you get homeless. That's why that lady was out here, Miss Deborah, feeding homeless people, because I was one of them. I lived in a car for 3 years because I wasn't making enough money. But guess what? I kept telling them $25 jokes till they started paying me $250 a night. I kept telling them $250 jokes till they started paying me $25,000 a night. I kept telling them $25,000 jokes till they started paying me $75,000 a night. Then I told them jokes for $75, then they started paying me $100 a quarter a night. Then I kept telling them, they done paid me $500,000 for these jokes. Without the kings of comedy, we made $58 million in 1 year. You know what we did? We told jokes. Them the same $25 jokes. They ain't nothing but English. Ain't what like I was doing them in Spanish and no like that. I was just same funk jokes for $25. I just kept repetition over and over and over. I turned them jokes into an empire. I turned them jokes into a lifestyle beyond my wildest dreams. I turned them jokes into funds. My grandkids ain't got to worry about nothing. I done put up so much with them $25 jokes. You are sitting on an empire. You are worth millions. That's how you become a millionaire. You don't try to think of a million. You just do this $10 thing you got over and over and over. You're sitting on money, man. That's how you get rich. Quit trying to figure out how to make a million. Take something, a $10 idea, and just do it, and keep praying about it. Keep asking God to show you the next level. Keep asking God for strength when it looked like you ain't gonna make it. When I was homeless, it looked like I wasn't gonna make it. I kept praying about it. Kept asking God to come get me. I kept leaning on my mama. Man, she said, he didn't bring you this far to leave you. I kept hearing her say that. You know, I could have gave up a long time ago, but I never gave up. I just kept fighting. God is gonna come through and do what he say he gonna do, but you got to give him something to work with. If you do that, God will change your whole life. I dare you to try it. I dare you to take your gift and do it over and over and over. Watch what he do. The Bible says your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men. Don't say nothing about your passion or your education. your gift. If you do that, God will change your life. Thank y'all for coming.
So I would say, you support free speech because it's the mechanism that maintains the sanity of the individual and society. And you live in relationship with the spoken truth to the best of your ability, because the alternative is hell. And if hell is what you want, then you can remain arrogant and resentful and deceitful. But if you want to work to better the world, to bring it up to what it might be, then you speak forthrightly, you clarify yourself, and you act properly in the world. And then you see what happens. And this is the final thing I'll say. I spent a long time studying the Sermon on the Mount. It's a key document. It's Christ's commentary on the Ten Commandments, in a sense. The question being, if you codify the rules by which a society might function, is there something within the structure of the rules that rises above them that acts as the fundamental principle from which they're all derived? It's the ultimate question of human ethics. What is the highest principle? And the answer that's put forth in the Sermon on the Mount is quite straightforward. Aim at the highest possible good that you can conceive of. Whatever that is that you can conceive of, that serves as your God for all intents and purposes. Having aligned yourself with that good, speak the truth and see what happens. That's the act of faith. The act of faith is whatever the truth reveals is the best of all possible worlds, regardless of how it appears to you now. It's a guess, right? It's something you stake a bet on. Well, what do you think? The best of all possible worlds will be brought into being by deceit? It seems unlikely. You know that doesn't work in your own life. You tangle yourself up in your own lies, right? One lie breeds 10, and 10 breeds 100, and maybe you put the consequences on down the road and you don't fall into the pit for 5 or 6 years. Maybe you've even forgotten why you fell in when you finally do fall in, but everyone knows that you don't get away with anything. And so the issue is, well, what would happen if you just said what you thought? Stupid as it is, inaccurate as it is, and listen to people, criticize you in response to shape you and make you more articulate. What would your life be like? And the answer to that is, and I know this to be true, I've worked with many, many people on precisely this problem. Your life gets better and better and better and richer and deeper, but that comes with a heavier and heavier burden of responsibility. Well, that's okay. You use the observation of your own capability to bear responsibility, to buttress yourself against the terrors of being finite. You say, weak and miserable as I am, I can still stand up to the terrible tragedy of life and prevail. And that's good enough.